What does resilience have to offer a conversation with Ignatian spirituality in the middle of a pandemic? Good morning. My name is Father Frank Buckley. I am delighted to be the host of our morning meditation group, Flourishing During Times of Uncertainty. Happy Monday. Today is going to be a great day. Welcome. This is a three-part program. We begin with inspiration to address the question presented. The second part is the heart of the program, where we do a 20-minute silent meditation where I ring the bell to begin and ring the bell to end. And then the last part is a Jesuit examen where we just go to a place of gratitude. Father Tim at the Jesuit Alumni Mass said, God is an acronym for gratitude or death. Not bad, Father Tim. And in the examen, we'll just look over the weekend where we experienced God in our everyday, ordinary lives. So this morning, I have chosen something from Rebecca Ruiz, a very interesting article, and I'm just going to give you the 5 practices and a little sentence which he says about them. As a Jesuit priest and a psychologist, I really enjoy conversations around resilience. And Rebecca's article is titled 5 Practices of Ignatian Spirituality that Foster Resilience. And heaven knows we can use some resilience in the middle of this pandemic. Rebecca says this: Ignatian spirituality arose from an environment not so different from the one in which we find ourselves today. Ignatius endured long months of social isolation while he recovered from his war wounds. He struggled with the fact that his injuries had changed the world as he knew it. His former routines and social life evaporated. His job security went out the window. His illusion of control completely shattered. Yet those difficulties of confinement also gave Ignatius time to go deeper with God and gave rise to a practice of Christian spirituality so fertile it is still being practiced today. Within Ignatian spirituality, I have found that 5 particular practices have been especially effective in anchoring me during the pandemic and fostering resilience. I will now give you those 5 practices that help us anchor our resilience in the time of a pandemic. 1, flexibility in prayer. Ignatius found God in all things, so all times and places could be occasions for prayer. 2, practicing the examen. St. Ignatius considered the practice of the examen to be imperative. When we practice the examen, we notice the waves of emotion that are arising within the waters of our soul and psyche. We notice the direction of the wind and where it is blowing us, and we spot the clouds that point towards brewing storms. Noticing the conditions within helps to spot the God moments in our days and reorient ourselves toward God when we get off course. In recent months, I have found that practicing the examen has helped me stay focused and positive during long days online and has helped me maintain optimism as I replace my trust in God daily. 3, journaling. Ignatius recorded his thoughts and feelings in journals throughout his life. After many revisions, his journals from his time in the cave in Manresa became the spiritual exercises. Today, journaling continues to be a key aspect of the practice of Ignatian spirituality. I have found that journaling helps me to fight off disorientation in these days that lack the punctuation of outside routines and commitments. Journaling helps me remember that God is with me even when I lack a sense of God's presence and allows me to articulate my gratitude when God overwhelms me with love. 4. Striving for balance, body, mind, and spirit. St. Ignatius learned from experience that we are most able to love, serve, praise God when we are fully balanced. He encouraged novices in the Society of Jesus to be disciplined about striving for a balance among prayer time, studies, service to the poor, physical activity, social time, and rest. This sentiment continues today in the concept of cura personalis. Implementing this practice in our lives requires a holistic approach that includes taking care of our bodies by sticking to a schedule, getting adequate rest, good nutrition, exercise, taking care of our minds, focusing on gratitude, staying connected to friends who help us stay on course, even if that is virtually, and taking time to be with God daily. And finally, observing the Sabbath. When we observe the Sabbath, we draw a line in the sand and claim our time to rejuvenate. We turn off the screens and spend time with family and nature, listening to or making music, or in whatever leisurely activity renews us and reminds us of God's generous love for us. While some people take this rest all day on Sunday, others set aside a small amount of time each day to rest in the living waters of God. Thank you, Rebecca. And we will now move to the Sabbath of our morning practice, where we take time out of our busy day to join a community that gives the first 20 minutes of the day to God. On that beautiful note, we will move into the morning practice right now. I invite you to increase your resilience by unplugging. You can turn all your gadgets off. I will set our timer for 20 minutes. I will ring the bell to begin, and then I will ring the bell when we are done. During this time, I invite you to just tune in to any sensations in your body and listen to the traffic around you, giving your thoughts a little rest and reprieve. Without further ado, let's begin. Gently bring your attention back to the room. Happy Monday. Wonderful job, everyone. We'll now move into our examine. And if you're new to the program, don't be shy. Jump in that comment box, say hello, tell us where you're from, where God showed up for you over the weekend. Um, very delighted to be back with you on a Monday. I will share the monkey mind was definitely swinging from branch to branch this morning, much to my surprise, actually. Um, and I was listening to the traffic, and someone outside must be getting ready to paint because they were rattling the spray paint can, it sounded like. Anyway, uh, that was how my meditation began. As we look over the weekend, where do we discover, just find, enjoy God's present unconditional love in our lives? So let me begin. Friends of mine invited me over for delicious dinner last night, and afterwards we watched the documentary on Mother Teresa of Calcutta. I have to tell you, that might have had something to do with the monkey mind, but that woman was absolutely amazing. I loved seeing her work, but what caught my heart and my attention the most was her uh, indefatigable way to absolutely push forward with what her vision of God's will for her was, and to not accept no for an answer, even when it meant going into the war in Beirut. It was I think the Feast of Our Lady was the next day, and she said she would pray for her for a ceasefire so she and the sisters could get in there. And sure enough, ceasefire happened, and into Beirut she went. Um, it really was one of the highlights of my year watching that documentary. I absolutely love that woman. Uh, Second thing where I really noticed God come alive is Bishop Clark wrote a beautiful essay on a little paragraph on Facebook that was shared about just his love for Pope Francis and the importance of getting the seminary and the priests and the bishops on board with the pontiff's beautiful message. I hope you get a chance to read his new encyclical. It is superb. And then the last thing that went well was I really love our monthly Jesuit alumni mass jam at Blessed Sacrament. And it was great having Father Tim Meyer back on campus and to see him preach and talk about his time as a military chaplain going into war without a gun, and how Ignatian spirituality has helped him cope with the pandemic as a chaplain at Children's Hospital here in Los Angeles. So that was clearly, you can see my weekend was very full. Please feel free to drop your comments in the comment box, and hope you were able to get on the cushion this weekend. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a beautiful beginning of the week. God bless you.